No one could live without their camera today.
How often are you using AI?
To write? AI is behind me somewhere, chasing me. Okay? Older people should not be giving younger people advice. I think Tony Stark would win that cage match. How do I still carve meaning for myself as a human being?
Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson, welcome to Solar for CIO. Welcome to Nexthink Experience. How you doing?
Thank you. Call me Neil, please.
Pleasure to have you on. I have to tell you a quick story to begin the interview. So on Saturday night in London, I was with my kids. It was a family movie night. And my eldest son, he chooses Batman versus Superman. And I put it on, and in the middle, up you pop. And I say,
I have a cameo.
You have a cameo. Yeah. You'll never believe it. I'm going to talk to Neil, this guy. He's very confused now about the nature of films, of reality, of what happens in America.
Oh, yeah. Just don't ask. We're all confused about the nature of reality.
Exactly, yes. So I thought it would actually, it's inspired me. I want to talk to you a little bit about superheroes. We will get onto AI. We will get onto the world of work, but I've done my research and I understand you're quite passionate about superheroes.
Well, I think a lot about it. I mean, I'm passionate about a lot of things, and that's just in the box of things I'm passionate about.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not crazy. There's some crazy superhero people out there.
You're not stalking.
Exactly. Or they have 1,000 comic books.
Yeah.
That's
okay. Yeah.
I'm not that guy.
But you must have been a comic kid, maybe, like you were.
No, not as
you were
much
in the
as you might
comics a little bit? Okay.
No, I'm more an observer over shoulders, but I didn't seek them out. No.
But what did they mean to you as a kid? What did the superhero mean to you as a kid?
Every boy, at least in America, I can't speak for the world, every boy was targeted as with superhero storylines. And so we all wanted to be a superhero as kids. So I wanted to be a superhero. And there's one I wanted to be. He had a cartoon. It was Mighty Mouse. That was cool because he would fly and he would sing opera operatically en route to save people. Here I come to save the day. Right. And I just thought that was kind of cool that he would sing to do that. And he beat up the bad guys, and then he was the hero. But then when I got into middle school and high school, and the geek culture became an important part of who and what I belonged to, at that time, geeks were not yet valued in society. And geeks would always get beaten up by the good-looking kids and the football quarterback. And I was bigger than, I could kick some ass if I had to. I was on the wrestling team. I was undefeated.
Nice.
I studied martial arts. But I was emotionally, culturally geek. Okay. So I reinvented my superhero identity to be someone who protects the geeks.
Oh.
Yeah. And so maybe they would show onto the clouds digits of pi. And depending on how many digits were there, that's how severe the situation would be. And if I see a geek getting sort of pummeled by someone bigger and stronger, I have an irrational urge to want to harm that person. It's irrational. Because I could just call the police. I could gently pull them off. No, I want to pummel them. It's weird. It's a weird emotion. I've never had to act on it, but that's the superhero in me that wants to protect those who need to be protected the most. Nowadays, the geek set, they run the world. They're all the tech billionaires.
You got to protect the jocks or something.
The jocks.
You got to step in.
Won't otherwise get a job when they get out. So the tables turned over my lifetime. I think the pivot point was the film Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh, yeah.
That was right at the cusp of when, if you beat up your nerd person in school, there was no one there to help you with your computer homework.
And I think because you're in New York as well, so this is like the home of so many superheroes. Like you're growing up in New York.
It is Gotham City, which is Batman, of course.
Superman.
Yeah, Superman.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, all of them.
They're all from New York.
All of them. Oh, yeah.
And what was the connection? You've spoken before about the connection, the connective tissue, if you will, between the superhero and between science, between what they respectively represent.
I did. It's a fun, loose connection. Don't write a thesis on
this. Keep it loose.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have the DC universe, which Superman, Wonder Woman, I think the Flash is in that. And then you have the Marvel universe. The Marvel universe, with only few exceptions, almost every one of them got their powers through science. Yeah. Now, Tony Stark is the only one who doesn't have inherent powers, but he's smart and he builds stuff.
Yeah.
Okay? A good cage match would be between Tony Stark and Batman, because they're both human.
Yep.
Everybody else has supernatural kind of powers brought to them by science, run amok. So Spider-Man, he was bitten by a radioactive spider. You just go down the list of where they got all these powers, and it's something science-y that it involved. And so for that reason, even though I love me some Superman, who doesn't, as the OG superhero, if you don't include Hercules, with a carve-out for Superman, I think Marvel Comics, as a scientist, for me, they take you the farthest.
You actually said about Tony Stark, you said he was the most realistic superhero in some way, and I think it's because of his relationship between technology.
Yeah, I would say in the Marvel universe, I think Batman is plausible as well.
True, yes.
He has the benefit of his
$billions.
Yeah, billions of dollars of defense contracting methods and tools.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think Tony Stark would win that cage match, though, because Tony Stark builds all his own stuff, whereas Batman depends on the innovations of engineers in his own industry. So he's the beneficiary of other people's brilliance, whereas Tony Stark is all the brilliance he needs.
You know, when you think about the neuroses of the present age, right, with regards to technology and science, it's almost like a nervousness that technology is going to overwhelm the human being, right? That Tony Stark is going to become obscured by Iron Man. It's going to become all technology, less about the spirit, less about humanity. I mean, do you see that tension?
Yeah, but that tension's been there ever since we've had computers. It's been there ever since the Industrial Revolution, where a hard day at work, using your body, was considered a noble act. Now a machine takes over. So what do you have to show for your day at work? Was there no sweat? Was there no... This idea that the office job is what's coveted, it wasn't always the case. It was, did you put in a good day's work? All right? It looked good in the eyes of God. It looked good in the eyes of your community. And so machines started taking over. Well, then what happens to your spirit? What happens to your soul? What happens to your reason for living? And then computers start taking over your computational tasks. AI is sort of a next wave in this, taking over many of your creative tasks. So I think all combined, if you step back, look at it and say, how do I still carve meaning for myself as a human being amidst the rise of technology, replacing all that I previously so cherished about myself? I think what it's doing, it's nudging us into a direction where we need to be more creative than ever before. I like the artist Van Gogh. AI is pretty good at mimicking Van Gogh. I could take a picture of this set and hand it to some AI bot and say, paint this as Vincent Van Gogh would. And it would use the color palette, it would do the swirly cues, and it would say, yeah, if Van Gogh were standing here, that's what he would paint. But if instead I say, paint this in the style of no artist who has ever lived, what is it going to do? How? Because it's deriving everything it does from the sum of human creativity that exists online for it to ingest. So what that means is, if you're a middle-level artist copying other artists, we don't need you. But if you want to invent something creative that no one has ever seen, heard of, thought of, dreamt of before, that's outside the access that AI would deliver. And if everyone elevated to that, AI will forever be chasing us because we are its food. We are its source of creativity.
That's a great case study, like the example of a creative artist. What about a scientist? Like when you look at science...
All the time.
But it's already so baked into the scientific disciplines.
Anytime we can put a computer on something, and I'd rather just go to the Bahamas. We have telescopes coming online today that would be impossible to use were it not for major data analysis systems put into play, aided by AI. The things the AI does, it'll look at the data, find something that's unusual, flag it, go back to it in the observing schedule to get more data, then knock on our door and say, I found something interesting last night. That used to require us. So I'm glad for it. I don't have any problem. We are more productive because of it.
But what about the individual human genius scientist? Because you've left space for the individual human artist.
Because, yeah, sure. I thought that was a given. You know what AI doesn't do yet?
What's that?
That I know of? It doesn't dream. Why is it that you can go to sleep, wake up the next morning with a new idea, a new solution to something? Your brain was at work, making connections that weren't there before. So as long as I can dream, There's a colleague of mine, Jim Gates. He feels strongly about this. He may have been the first person I've heard to think about it this way. The fact that we can dream means we can invent things that never existed before. And could AI have come up with the theory of relativity? Could it have come up with impressionism? Could it have come up with Maxwell's equations of electromagnetism? Could it have come up? Could it have invented cubism? I don't think so. It would invent something, and we look at it and say, "What the hell is that? Does it really know what we like? Like maybe so, but so that day hasn't come yet. And the day it does come, then we need it to pay us, or we hope it doesn't become our overlord and decide that the world is better off without us."
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Soul of the CIO is sponsored by Nexthink. Now, if you work in IT, you'll know too well how disruptions can derail productivity fast. Nexthink's AI-powered platform for digital employee experience keeps you ahead. It uncovers issues others can't see and resolves them automatically with employee-centric AI and always-on automation. Employees stay productive, IT stays proactive and even preventative, and leadership sees results. Nexthink, ahead of every IT disruption, behind every strategy. Learn more at nexthink.com.
Who were your scientific heroes growing up?
I didn't have heroes.
You didn't have heroes?
No,
at all?
heroes. Heroes, I think, are overrated in the following way. Hero is someone you want to be, but then you look at more about them and you find out, no, I didn't want that. Yeah. He said that. I don't want to say that. And all of a sudden, you're disillusioned. So all of my role models and quote heroes were cherry picked. Sorry, I selected them a la carte from whatever they were.
Yeah.
So when I was growing up, there was an educator that I saw at the Hayden Planetarium. He was a brilliant storyteller. I never wanted to leave the room. And I said to myself, if I'm ever an educator, that's the kind of educator I want to be. By the way, he was like 100 pounds overweight. Did I want to be 100 pounds overweight? No. Did I want his home life? No. I don't even know what his home life was. I didn't care. I wanted that aspect of who and what he was. And he was so concise and brilliant and funny. And I said, if I'm ever a scientist, I want to be able to communicate science in that way. And my parents cared deeply about the human condition, active in the civil rights movement. And I said, in the future, if and when I become a scientist, I don't want to lose track of people and their plight in this world, because not everyone has equal access to opportunity. And therein is one of the great tragedies of modern life. People who could be making discoveries aren't, simply for lack of access to resources, to opportunity, to occasions where they can shine, and billions of people in this world. Imagine how much more advanced civilization would be if it were structured differently, where everybody had an equal shot.
Thinking about the people en masse, you know, we spoke about AI, we spoke about how it's leaving space for effectively the genius, right? Whether it's a genius artist, a genius scientist, there's room for that still.
For the moment, yeah.
But for the moment.
Yeah.
But what about en masse? I mean, as somebody who's concerned about the fate of ordinary people, do you look and you see the coming of AI and its ability to substitute so much work, and do you worry? Is it a concern? Are you optimistic?
I don't have an answer, but I do have a historical precedent. I used to, if anyone remembers, there used to be phone numbers that arrived in a book called the phone book.
I remember, yeah.
And in Manhattan, phone book is particularly thick.
I bet.
Probably like London's, but the white pages, which has regular people in it, it might have been 3 or 4 inches thick. Then the yellow pages, which has businesses, was equally thick. And you get a new one of these every single year, right? So what do you do with the old ones? They hold open the door. Your toddlers will sit on it at the table. There are things you did with the old versions of them. I'm old enough to remember watching the yellow pages and seeing the first ads for computers. These are things I only saw in the military and in science labs. Now they're entering your home. That's interesting. And then a year later, more pages were given to it. And then even more. And then it got up to like 15 pages of ads. And I said to myself, there are people now making and selling computers that were not doing that 5 years ago. So some job they had 5 years ago either no longer exists or they just simply moved on. So that has happened with enough frequency that I'm not out of the box worried that whole swaths of people are going to have to find something else to do. Because the thing you have to do in the future is not the same set of things you have to do today. There are things that'll be jobs tomorrow that we cannot imagine for tomorrow. If it was like 10 years ago and your 14-year-old daughter comes up to you and says, Daddy, when I grew up, I want to be a YouTube influencer, you look and say, what the hell? What? Go back to school. Okay, go back and do your homework. And now such a person...
Now they all want to be influencers. This is not a good thing, I think.
And they make more money than you do. Sure. The future of what jobs are to be available, I don't have the crystal ball. But every previous instance of this has shown that industries rise up that didn't previously exist, that were not in the equation of people saying, what happens when this swath of people lose their job to a machine or to a computer or to AI?
Well, we're at Nexthink Experience, many of the world's leading technologists and technology leaders here. What if you're a young person in technology or in your career?
Oh, I just figured out this is the name of your show.
Yeah, so
the CIA.
I like it.
Yeah. So in my day, I probably programmed 50,000 lines of code.
Nice.
Yeah, in my day. I wasn't worried when we had Y2K. Everybody's worried about going into the next millennium. I just knew all programs at all times always have bugs. So this would just be another set of bugs, fix them. And the world is not going to collapse because it hadn't collapsed before. So I was just resting peacefully.
So go on. Okay, so let's say you were the same age now as you were then. And how would you be anticipating? How would you recommend to somebody approaching their technology career at this juncture?
I don't do that. I'll tell you why. Because people have to experiment on their own. Any advice from an elder in a rapidly moving society and culture and industry is bound to be obsolete, if not misguided. Something that might have worked for them and for the world 3 years ago is old news today, or would even hold you back. So a person has to be alert. You got to be out there on the frontier. You got to see what's working, what's not. Get a little nose, get a sniff of where you think trend lines are going, especially in the business world, because you want to be ahead of the curve, not behind it. You want to set the trend. I mean, I remembered when the iPhone said, oh, it has a camera in it. And I kept thinking, why would my cell phone, why would I want a camera in it? Why are you charging me for this? I don't want a camera in my cell phone. No one could live without their camera today in their cell phone. All right, there was some understanding, some prediction, maybe even some forcing, but it doesn't matter in the end. We all can't live without the ability to take a picture wherever we are. When I grew up, your picture was taken twice a year, once in school and maybe once on vacation. No one ever saw a camera ever again. So the world changed. And if you can see that coming, you're the next billionaire. But I don't chase money, I chase ideas. So older people should not be giving younger people advice. It's younger people that should be getting their hands dirty, experimenting, which means you need the grit to be able to fail and recover. If you can't recover from failure, you go home, take up another task, but not the moving frontier of tech, of computing, of AI, of everything that is delivering to this world that will transform tomorrow in ways that we cannot predict today.
Speaking of this, interested in your AI usage, I've got an AI quickfire round. You ready? Okay.
Sure.
Okay. First of all, how often are you using AI on a daily basis?
When I do searches on my computer and AI comes up, I hate it. It doesn't know what it's doing. It's only it's large language models are doing it. And it's only putting words together that have appeared together. And I've written 18 nonfiction books. I'm a source of information that AI is mining to be AI. Okay, one of course, thousands of books, but I'm in that source. I had one of my producers, there was a name I couldn't remember, and I said, could you check online, this, just type in these keywords? And he came out with the wrong answer. And I said, that's the wrong answer. He said, that's what it says. I said, that's the wrong answer. So he tried it again in a different way. He got the same answer, which was the wrong answer. And then I said, go to an actual website of a place that knows what the hell it's talking about. And so he goes to, was it the Greenwich website, one of these websites, and he got the correct answer. It's the name of the discoverer of planet Neptune. Okay? If you type that into AI, it'll say it was Urbain Le Verrier. He's not who discovered it. He made the prediction of where you would discover it, which is why AI was confused, because that name kept showing up about the discovery, but he didn't make the discovery. It's a guy named John Couch Adams made the discovery. And and I knew, but I forgot his name, but I knew it wasn't Le Verrier. It's a pain in the ass. Can I say ass? Can I take? So I'm not ready to depend on AI, because anytime I knew something and checked it, it gets it 90% right. That's not right enough for me as an academic.
So do you not use it much, full stop? Like
correct.
Yeah.
No, not that kind of AI.
Almost averse to it.
No,
by the sound.
Yeah, almost averse.
A little bit.
I like it. I like to have fun with it, but I don't like it as a source of informing me, an academic. Dare I say I'm above that.
I don't think you've ever used it then to write an email to software.
Oh, no.
No.
To write? Oh my gosh. To write? In my last book, I invented 7 words. AI is incapable of inventing a word because it only knows what other words people have used. Okay? So AI is behind me somewhere, chasing me. Okay? That doesn't even know it's chasing me. It's following in my wake. It's not going to catch up with me because every day I've learned something new that I didn't know the day before. And that's something that AI doesn't yet know.
So we started with an astrophysicist goes to the movies today. We're going to end with some quick movie questions, quick fire movie round. You pick a movie, you can give me a little illustration of why you've picked it, and it can be because of its prescience or because of your preference. It's up to you, okay? Ex Machina or Her?
You mean which do I prefer?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Or which one you think is the more
Machina.
prescient, the closest to the...
was way deeper, I think. What does it mean to be alive and to be self-determined? And Ex Machina, I think, was that. Her was good, but that was more a psychological study of an individual, not I mean, of course, it could apply to other people. I get it. But Ex Machina.
It's all saccharine.
I think it was, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think it was a deeper story.
Blade Runner or 2001?
2001. It was way more important, a film, in terms of its influence. When it came out, we were not yet on the moon. And it was like, oh my gosh, this is in our future. And its depth and its weight and the music and
hard to beat.
You know, the beginning of the Barbie film mimicked the opening scene of 2001. It didn't mimic Blade Runner. Okay, so doesn't mean I'd like me some Blade Runner. Don't get me wrong, and I of course prefer the original to the sequel.
Course. Yes.
But definitely 2001.
Star Wars or Star Trek? I need 2 more.
Please don't. Just keep going.
I don't
Star
know.
Trek, of course.
Okay.
Star Trek.
As you like.
There's a premise that is based on real science. Star Wars is like cowboys in space.
It's a bit fluffy. Matrix or Inception? Interesting pairing, right?
Oh, yeah, it is. Matrix is my single favorite movie of all time. Inception was brilliant and inventive, but Matrix all the way.
I think we're out of time. But thank you so much for joining us, man, on Solar for CIO.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.